Hello folks, today I'm going to be talking about the two different radios we use on the Western Mountain Rescue Team. Here we have the Vhf radio. The Vhf radio works on line of sight and doesn't require a queue-up time when using the microphone. To use the Vhf radio, we power it on with this knob, which also adjusts our volume. The middle knob changes what channel we are on. The orange button on top works as scan. It scans all of the channels programmed into this radio. The pros of a VHF radio are there's good reception in mountainous and canyonous terrain, and they're the most commonly used on our team. The cons are they do have very poor range over long distances. We have all of these different channels programmed into our VHF radios. We most commonly use MRA1 and MRA2. We use VTAC and Incident for other uses. The remainder of our channels are used for mutual aid missions for the most part. We're communicating with these specific agencies. 800 radios work functionally the same. The same knob is the power on and volume. The middle knob also changes the channel. And the orange button on top is also the scan. They do require a queue-up time, and you don't want to talk until after you hear that little beep. .800 radios work similarly to a cell phone, where they use cell phone towers and repeaters to communicate through those towers to the other radios, which is why they have such a large range. They work similarly to a mobile phone. The pros are they have excellent range statewide where there is service. They have okay reception in mountainous and canyonous terrain, and they do have poor reception in mountainous and canyonous terrain using duplex channels, which we'll get into in a second. There are many dead zones in our area, and they are quite expensive. So there are duplex and simplex channels. Simplex channels over here allow for radio-to-radio transmission without using a cell phone tower or repeater. The remainder of the channels, which we most commonly use, are duplex, which require going through that cell phone tower or repeater. We most commonly use Whisper 1 and 2. Like I said, these simplex channels allow us to communicate directly radio to radio. To continue, we'll be talking about radio etiquette on the Western Mountain Rescue Team. In general, we like to say, "Hey you, it's me," when speaking over the radio. For example, if I'm a member of Team 3 talking to operations, you'd say, "Ops, Team 3, and then continue with your transmission. We want to always be professional. We always want to use call signs as well. A call sign is a name assigned to your group. For example, operations, plan, Team 3, etc. We never say the subject's name over the radio. We want to keep transmissions short and to the point, and we are regulated under an FCC license. Failure to follow proper radio etiquette could result in the termination of our license or large fines. In the Mountain Rescue Station, we also use a series of radio codes. Code 1 is the subject is found and no assistance is needed. Code 2 is the subject is found and assistance is needed. Code 3 is there's an unforeseen emergency and assistance is needed. Code 4 is the subject is found deceased, and in Gunnison County here, that is also known as Code Frank. Code 5 is need to make a private transmission on another channel. We also use some common radio terminology. Affirmative means yes, negative means no, copy means I understand your last transmission, repeat means repeat your last transmission, break means pause during a long transmission, and continuing is what you say after that pause during a long transmission. We typically use break and continuing when giving coordinates. Today we've talked about the differences between VHF and 800 radios, and radio etiquette on the Western Mountain Rescue Team. I hope you can take home some of these points and use them on one of our next trainings or missions. Thank you very much.